So I generally cannot believe that that Kemi Badenoch certainly thinks that she can get away with this. Um, what you're seeing here, as this picture you can see, is Kemi Badenoch signing a memorandum, and we'll get to that in a point. A memorandum on trade with Italy. Now, some of you may remember that during the Truss years, where Liz Truss was in charge of the Department for International Trade, she went around signing all these memorandums all the time, claiming that these were like full blown trade deals and they would be absolutely amazing. Oh my God, just look at them all. But we've told and said again and again and again and again and again that these memorandums are not trade deals. That there's flat out straight not at all. So what is happening here in this picture, or at least being promoted, certainly by sort of by Badenoch and certainly by the UK government, is essentially a complete con, because they claim that this is a momentous occasion and that this is going to improve sort of wages and the productivity of the UK by signing this deal. But these types of deals do nothing. And of course, this is not the first time a international trade secretary has tried this, besides, of course, Truss and Badenoch. You may remember Penny Mordaunt, who decided that she was going to try and crack America and do a memorandum of understanding, I think, with like it was one of like the middle states, and if they signed a memorandum, it was like Arkansas or somewhere like that, and it was like, what do you mean? That's not a trade deal. These memorandums are not trade deals. As much as they would like to try and spin them, saying, "Oh my God, look at all these! Look at how global Britain we are! Look at all this trade." Doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And this is something that I've tried to get across to people, saying whenever you see stuff like this going on, it is just a complete lie and con. So let's crack on into this to find out more about what happened and why, in some cases, this has pretty much flown under the radar. Because as much as they like to crow and talk about this, they also haven't really wanted to promote it too much. So, as always, before we sort of go diving into today's story, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and an affiliation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And of course, there is the YouTube thank you button as well down below, and the Pony Club you can join as well. And of course, do remember to ring the bell as well. So, let's go on to this then, shall we? So, this comes from the New European with the title of The Brazen Con of Kemi Badenoch's Post-Brexit Trade Partnership with Italy. The dictionary defines the word momentous as of great importance or significance, especially in having a bearing on future events. So, an announcement that the UK and Italy have today agreed a momentous trade partnership to boost UK exports to help create jobs, increase wage, and grow the economy sounds very exciting. But it wouldn't be, again, the first time, as we've made very clear, not the first time the UK government has tried to claim this or do something similar and say, "Oh my God, this is going to boost trade," and Brexit's all about trade, until you point out, of course, that it hasn't boosted trade. We are actually in a massive net negative when it comes to trade, not only just with Europe, but even the rest of the world. It's suddenly not about trade anymore. It's about something else. But of course, that's Brexiteers for you. But anyway, back to it. So, the Department for International Trade even sent some very nice photos out, with a press release showing the Trade Secretary, Kemi Badenoch, signing the deal in Italy. They are, of course, somewhat reminiscent of the UK signing the Lisbon Treaty or some other such major international pact. But let's be clear, this is no such thing. There are no trade treaties with individual EU member states, as some of you would have already picked up on. Why? Because that's not how the EU works. With and explained this time and time again. Even back in 2016, where you had Brexiteers boldly saying that they could do individual deals with individual member states. And even back then, we were saying, no, that's not how the EU works. That's not how it works. Just. But anyway, such deals are negotiated by the European Commission for the whole of the EU. And despite the attempts of numerous Brexit supporters to claim that the UK could do separate deals with separate European countries, that is impossible and is never going to happen. So, what was Kemi Badenoch signing in Rome? Well, it certainly is not a, quote, momentous anything. It is just a memorandum of understanding designed to strengthen business links between the UK and Italy. There is no more money on the table and no reduction of tariffs or quotas, yet is being hailed as something of great importance and significance, much the same way that the government has been boosting of the new trade deals with individual US states, if they are somewhat equivalent to the full-blown trade deal with Washington, D.C. As we said at the beginning, absolutely not. These are not anywhere near close to these, suspected trade deals that they love to sort of claim about. Nowhere near at all. There is no equivalence between a memorandum of understanding and an actual trade deal. So, they are not full trade deals and can never be. They're just nice bits of paper with visiting ministers to take home, rather like a gift of a flag or a snow globe or a paperweight showing the parliamentary building in winter. In fact, trade with Italy has already declined since Brexit, as you would expect, leaving the very best kind of trade deal, the one where you do just not remove tariffs but all barriers for trade, which allows others' products to be traded seamlessly across the whole continent, is never going to be replaced by anything better, only by something considerably worse. In the case of Brexit, that is the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, a bare-bones trade deal with which the best the UK could actually get out of its very woefully mismanaged negotiations. The idea that a nice piece of Italian paper is going to somehow boost a trade relationship worth more than £43 billion, as the government's vainglorious press release puts it, is a bit cynical propaganda designed to pull the wool over your eyes. Since Brexit has already damaged the UK's exports, the job market, wages, and the economy, the claim that this will somehow not just repair the damage, but make things better than before Brexit is shameless. The government claims that the agreement reinforces the UK's position as a vital trade partner within Europe and demonstrates the strengthening of partnership with EU members. This is just the opposite of the truth. Brexit has weakened both, and until it is replaced, Britain and its trade are of less importance and of greater insignificance. Then, yeah, I completely agree. These memorandums of understanding, it's not the first time, as they've pointed out, and we said before at the beginning, it's not the first time the government has tried to sort of spin this off as, oh my God, look at this fantastic trade deal. But no, these aren't trade deals. They do not remove any tariffs. They do not remove any barriers that companies currently face when trying to sort of, sell their products to Italy. All this does is say, hey, businesses in the UK, maybe you should, work a bit more with, Italian companies or businesses. But the problem is, if you're a British company, you've still got to try and get over the massive trade barriers that Brexit has now put up that previously were not there at all. And, as was said in the article, there is absolutely no way in any way, shape, or form you can even come close to replicating sort of us being in the single market and customs union with a trade deal. It is just simply absolutely impossible. So I would not be surprised if we see, shall we say, more of these potentially in the future, touted as, oh, look, this is, global Britain out on the stage. Look at us signing all these trade deals. Well, it is not a trade deal. What we have is the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, a deal that was so bare bones, done in such a way as to try and please the Brexiteers so that they wouldn't, cause a hissy fit, so that they would actually, pass it. Then, after they've passed it, now said, oh my God, this deal is absolutely terrible. We've got to leave the EU even harder. When we've already seeing the impacts of what a hard Brexit has done to the country. It's generally an absolute nightmare, but that's what you get. That's what you get when you leave a massive economic union like the EU and the single market and customs union. But of course, we're still under very much a pro-Brexit government. Kemi Badenoch herself is very, very sort of pro-Brexit. So again, it wouldn't surprise me if she comes back and says in the future that she has signed trade deals with Italy or how many other countries she has signed these memorandums of understanding with. And of course, as we've said, they are not trade deals. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, do remember to ring the bell as well. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.